James Davis, how are ya? Psycho Lou, Justin Waldrop. It's good to see all you guys. John Carolino, what is going on, man? Sorry I missed you there. Just waiting. I'm waiting for KT to come on. We got a pretty easy show for you today. Kind of wanted to explain some stuff about the 468 because we've been getting a lot of questions again regarding the new Gen 2 Javelin and the one-piece uppers. So I want to go through some stuff and talk about what we have done to address the problems that kind of are I don't really think so, but some people do, plagued their success with shape projectiles. So what we're going to do is I'm going to talk to you about that. KT is going to come on. He's back from Ion, so he's got a lot to talk to you about that. And we're going to go through this. We're going to talk about a lot of you guys. There's some people in here that have a 468 with the new version, 2017. Alfredo Ibarra, what's going on, man? Craig Froust, what's going on? Scold Eagle, what's going on, my friend? You know, that have the one-piece upper and the Gen 2 Javelin, even Gen 1 Javelin, and haven't had any problems. You know, I had a customer that came in today, is from here, Humboldt County actually, drove all the way to Oklahoma D-Day and had problems with the 468. And I get customers like that. I really do. We get customers. KT gets them. I get them. Where we have guys that have had poor experiences, and they claim that it was right when they got it. One thing that I have to say, okay, every single marker that you guys purchase are made in this facility that I'm sitting in right now, right here in Gilroy, California. They are built, they are tested, and then they have to pass a quality control test in order for it to be shipped out to you. So for it not to work when you receive it is very troubling to me, and also difficult to comprehend a little bit. Not to say that you're wrong or something like that, but in my experience, the almost the 2 years I've been with this company and all the tech work and stuff that I've done, the builds and everything with the 468, in my experience, what I find with the 468 specifically is the lack of knowledge and understanding, which causes poor experiences and causes people to badmouth the product and or the company on Facebook. That is where I see a lot of the issues with the 468. I use the 468 daily, at least 25 times a week for something. Whether I'm doing my demos for law enforcement, I'm doing it for customers here in the lobby, or I'm showing customers how to use their 468. And I can tell you right now that when they find out, oh, I didn't know that. That quote right there, the string of words that I just said, oh, I didn't know that. That is where light bulbs go on and successful use and performance of the 468 begins. That's the reason why I did that new 468 guide with you guys, for you guys. I put it up on YouTube, so you guys have that as reference for the newest version. So, yeah, Alex Hogan, when you sent it in, when you sent it in, your trigger had 0 grease on it, and that may have happened here. So what happens? You get intermittent testing. So it may have been perfectly fine testing here in the facility, but then when it got to you and you just kept using it, what happens is that metal just grinds on metal, and that causes the stick. But all that was just a matter of grease being put on there, and that's it. So I go through all of that stuff on the video that I did with the 468, and that way I hope it alleviates some of those oh duh type of deals, because that's what I get here, honestly. Very rarely, because of how we QC products here, and that was one thing that I was involved in personally, was the QC process, and that was one thing that Mike was involved with, and then KT, we all really wanted to do, is to make sure that when we build a marker, that it leaves this facility performing the way that it's expected to when it receives, or by the time you receive it. Now, lubrication, all that is still something I have to drill into a lot of people's heads with paintball guns in general. They don't, a lot of people think that there's no maintenance required or anything like that, and that's unfortunately that's just not the case. So, it is something that if you ever have a problem, and like I said, you guys have been really good. If you ever have a problem with our product, you just contact us directly. That's all you need to do. Going on Facebook on the 468 owners group or the MagFed paintball group and asking how to fix your marker is not really that smart, in my opinion. If you're not getting an answer from us, which has never happened, you shouldn't have to go and ask people that didn't make it. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't make any sense. So, we're going to go through that. We're going to talk about 468. I have some first strikes here. I'm totally kidding. I got some first strikes here. I almost called them force multipliers. Holy shit. Oh man, that was like a trigger word too. Like I didn't even accidentally, wasn't even thinking about that. I just have been talking about force multipliers for a long time since that whole debacle. Oh, that's funny. That is really funny. Anyway, we're gonna be going through that. We also have some new product that we're gonna release for you guys. It actually has something to do with the TMC. Since we've been getting a lot of damn questions about the TMC, and since we seem to be the only company out there that's really known for the accessories, I mean that's kind of how it is. So KT is not having the best of days. Our laser engraver is having a little issue, so he's trying to get that fixed. So he'll be right over here. Other than that, we're going to do Q&A. We've got a raffle gun. We're going to do a raffle gun today. I still don't have a mil-sig, so we can't do our air efficiency test. So the next test and next week's episode, for sure, is going to be the comparison between the SAR-12 and the DMR. Okay, this is going to be a very, very, very in-depth comparison. It is also going to be an eye-opener for some people, I think, and it's also going to probably create a lot of controversy. So we will be going through that next week, and that is a full-on comparison from how easy it is to service and repair for performance. We're going to go through all that stuff. A lot of people ask us that. A lot of people, I'm getting customers recently that have been asking me how to compare, or the comparison between a 468 and a SAR-12, and there's no comparison there. So you have to remember, even with the SAR-12 is a $1,400 gun. The DMR is $699. Okay, it's a designated marksman rifle. There's really not a lot of comparison between based solely off of what Karmatech and all them claim with their internal systems and the barrel and all that stuff. But the DMR, and I know a lot of you guys that have it. Tony that used to work here, Jin, who else has it? Alfredo Ibarra, yeah, you have one. I have a lot of people that have the DMR that swear by it. Honestly, swear by that marker. So I'm very interested in seeing how the SAR-12 and the DMR stack up against each other in a full-on, side-by-side, head-to-head test. And then I also that will be next week's episode. So we'll have all that here. We already have a SAR-12. We obviously have the DMR. So we will be doing that test next week. Be loaded on YouTube. William, yes, it will. All of the MFW shows are what do you call it? Recorded or downloaded, and they're put on our Facebook page, so you guys can rewatch them over and over if you see. So I mean, yeah. So I'm excited for that test. We're gonna be doing that next week. Let's see here. PTR. Some people have been asking about the PTR. KT and I are finishing that right now. We're just waiting on some screws to come in. We have not decided on whether or not the DMR or the PTR is going to be upgrade package first, or if we're going to just sell complete markers. That's one thing that we're gonna talk about. Calista, it's fixed. It's been fixed. It's all good. I got it in the office here, so you'll have it for your next event. Alex Hogan, yeah, PTR. I have a DMR level. I'll be posting it. How's it going?
You can adapt it.
Oh, okay. There's one right there, behind the barrel stand.
Okay.
So KT's gonna come on right now. We'll get the show started. He's got the raffle marker as well. So like I said, the PTR is, we haven't decided what we're going to do with the year. We haven't decided if you're going to be, for those of you who own the 468, are going to be able to upgrade to the trigger, or if we're just going to do complete markers here in the beginning. We'll have to talk. We're talking about that. So that's what we're doing right now. The Hydra, okay. We have somebody that's finalizing the separating the drawings so we can send it out for prototype, and the 46, or I'm sorry, the Hydra will then, once we get the prototype, we'll test and we'll be good to go. Honestly, the shape projectile round and the pistol and the tornado are what KT is working on right now. So, speaking of KT,
Oh yeah.
he's back.
All right, how are you, good fellas?
He is back.
Oh man, what a trip! I'll talk to you guys about that Ion trip in Pennsylvania a little bit later. But I got the can you do an auction of the raffle?
No, yeah, I was just talking. Let me finish my thought before I forget.
Okay.
So, I was talking about the Hydra. How right now we're separating the drawings for prototype.
Right.
Once we test, like I was telling him, that your primary focus right now is the shape ground and then the tornado.
Oh.
Tornado, we've printed, we've tested, but there were some things that needed to be
Corrected, of
course, and that's all a part of the R&D process. And then from there, it will most likely be the pistol. You'd say
Pistol next. Well, actually, it's multiple things work in conjunction at the same time. So, I'm doing a PTR, the Hydra, the tornado, the pistols, the rounds, all those projects in conjunction at the same time.
That's why he's always busy.
It's I mean, you have to. Otherwise, what each project needs a little bit tweak, change here, change there, correction here, correction there, and it takes time. Adding new features to it as we go. Otherwise, like I think we could have released most of these projects a while ago, but we can't just stop at that's what they are as we progress in the project. When we're closer to releasing them, I'll do like a 3D showing you guys how it's done. That we can see all the changes. Because right now, we have done in the past, we kind of show the world
a product,
a prototype, and this and that. Next thing you know, they beat us to the punch because they have more resources than we do, and that's unfortunate. And it's kind of like one of those things where you're limited to what you have. You have to work at this this pace that you're able to.
In KT's defense, and for what we're doing, there is a method for our madness. I will tell you this, that watching KT when we printed the tornado, and to see it not on a computer screen and be able to fire it in a gun,
right,
is mind-blowing. I mean, the way that it looks, for those of you who haven't looked up the AK-12 model yet, it's literally exactly like it. And I, in my mind, envisioned it with the metal shells,
right,
and it's mind-blowing. It is definitely going to be a mag-fed marker that's going to take the industry by storm. Honestly, it's going to be the first of its kind, and it's for the X7 Classic. I mean,
right,
people. There are so many people out there that have the X7 Classic and haven't been able to use it, or didn't want to use it because the industry has passed that
right,
generation by. So we're putting a little bit of life back into it. But like I said, for everything that we're doing, we definitely learned from our mistakes in the past. But for everything that KT is doing right now with Omar especially, there is a reason for it. And I assure you, like I said, when these things get released in our time frame here, it is going to be worth it. Worth the wait. Well worth it.
I actually showed a few people the photo of the project, and they loved it. So Hopefully, if you guys see me in person, ask me for it. I'll show you in person how it looks. But we'll kind of refrain from posting online and and get a more question than we need right now.
Right. That's kind of what happened. So
Right.
let's go ahead and jump right into the auction marker. We'll do that first, and then we'll get right into what we're going to talk about today.
All right. While Jonathan was getting the show started, I kind of picked this off one of our production line. This is one of the Bullpup series. Is it Bulldog? It's a Bulldog
series,
or
yeah.
the?
No, it's not. It's Bulldog series.
It's a Bulldog series. Here, you can take over that.
Okay, so we got Vortex MP5 with the SD5 shroud kit. This will have a 10-inch barrel, right? Or what do we?
10-inch.
10-inch barrel.
Yes.
You got the UMP trigger frame with the selector. You're obviously going to have the new 2017 version Helix. Drop down ASA, and you also have the sniper type scope. Or I'm sorry, not scope, stock with this this marker with the remote line adapter. I love this. I love this gun. I think this was long overdue. We've had these accessories here for a long time, and with the Vortex now, since KT released and we've released the UMP, it brings this type of look to life. I mean, this looks very, very close to the real steel version, outside of obviously the selector switch, but the look and feel. The texturing here, it's awesome. I really like this marker. There's a full auto option too that's also available that we released, that we have, and it's awesome. It's absolutely awesome.
You know what we need to do? We need to build this with a respawn trigger.
That's right.
Because this the housing actually takes a respawn trigger. We need to test it out. Yeah.
Okay. So you heard that. We can definitely do that now too. So we started off at $100. We got Justin Waldrop already at 120.
Oh, nice.
So
head start there.
Awesome. The I say it's a little laggy here.
A little laggy.
Got a little bit of a delay.
I think because Adam was watching back there.
Get off the Wi-Fi, Adam.
We have our White House people actually watching the show live. They could just come in.
Psycho Lou. All right, so we'll go right ahead and jump in. I'll talk about this again in a second here. So we got the
what's going on, Justin, Larry, Corey. Hey guys, Callista, what's going on? We'll see you soon.
So go ahead and let's talk about Ion first, since
Ion. Oh,
that was mind-boggling.
Ion, it's an incredible event. You know, we've been asked to go to the event for the last like 10 years, and every year I kind of say yes, I'm going. But by the time I get back from Oklahoma D-Day. Oklahoma Day is like a week-long event, right? So we're there. By the time I'm back, I'm so tired. Take a week to recuperate and clean up and organize. And by the time I'm done, Ion start. So we're never able to get a butt out there. So this year, actually, put a little effort in, and we got out there, and it was a great event. And you know what? I wish I would have been there too. My past couple of years, a lot of people. They said they have about 4,500 players came out. Literally, I mean, they have about, I think, acres of campground, and literally every single spot was taken. Just they did I think you can look around. There's a drone footage of it, and then just literally miles of just tent. It's pretty crazy. And by the time that the game started, of course, people always wait till the last minute, right, to get the air tank filled. Imagine. 4,000 people get the air tank filled at the same time. Well, first the line are from the airfield refill station to our tent. It's a good walk, and first the line got to our tent, and then the line got so long it got loop around, so it's actually like a U shape in front of our tent. It's pretty crazy. A lot of people complain that they should have more fill station, but it's I don't know how they accommodate 4,000 people trying to fill the air tank at the same time, assuming that each person takes, say, 30 seconds. You do the math, right? That's wild.
That's worse than the DMV. Could you imagine 4,000 people going to the DMV at the same time? Those are grounds for suicide, my friends. That is something you don't want to live through at all. So, other than that, what do we got coming up? We got next month?
I'm putting out together the my itinerary for the next couple months. So I think next month we have Super Game East. I don't know if I can hit that one or another one. And then September, I'm still looking for event for September. October, there are the Wisco, well, Kilo 69. And then I have the End War here in California. So those two are going to take a lot of work. But I think next couple months will be out every month for an event. So I'll put an itinerary together and see where we're at. So we have Photo Gap, and also this is, was it Living Legend?
Gap, yeah, Living
Photo
Legend.
Gap, November
Decay
somewhere.
of Nations.
Decay of Nation in October.
That's September.
Decay of Nation
October?
September.
Yeah, because Kilo 69 is in...
Kilo 69 is in the mid of October.
Yeah.
So I'll put a schedule up. Like I said, I'm working on the all the dates right now. Yeah, definitely, John. Decay. We can't.
Can't miss that one.
Yeah, it's in California. I think most event in California, it'd be a shame if we don't show up. It's kind of outside the states, maybe in the East Coast somewhere. We kind of have to pick and choose which one we can go. But in California, we gotta go. Unless we don't know about it or we just kind of poorly plan out. But we're definitely.
Callista, Super Game East, we were talking about that today. That's definitely because that's the first of its kind, right?
I don't know. This is the first time I have been.
Callista, is this the first time they are doing Super Game at East? I don't know. I've never heard of that one before. At least not last year. I didn't.
Well, they have the one in the West Coast in Oregon. That's the one where tag go. But I don't know about the East and never. Yeah, and then of course that's the Florida.
We haven't been to any games in Florida, have we?
Well, they have. They having the World Cup in Florida.
Oh.
And that's I'm planning to hit that one this year as well. It's going to be a busy year for us. And I still got to go on a special trip out of the country for a special filming for a promotion. I'll fill you guys in when I'm there.
That's next month.
I don't want to get. That's in October.
Oh, in October. Yeah. Oh, okay. I think you said it was August.
No, I'm sorry, you're right, August. Woo. Yeah. It is in August.
You almost missed this trip.
Oh, man. I'll be out. That'll be an incredible event. I'll fill you guys in after I film the promotional footage for it. I think it'll be a crazy event.
It's honestly mind-blowing.
Right.
It will, if you're as passionate, if you've been paintballing since 1982, you're gonna want to go to this event. Right. Okay, so just keep that in mind.
And I've been at this type of event for about 5 to 10 years now. Finally, if they struck a deal for it, if they struck the right person for the right mechanism to have it done, I'll fill you guys. Like I said, it's kind of too early to say, but after I have the footage kind of filmed, it will be more self-explanatory, kind of make better sense, and I'll kind of go detail why we do what we do. Yeah, Callista, we'll could have some shoes and show us.
All right, so keep in mind, for those of you that are having events, please post them to the event calendar, guys. I've been away from my desk more in the past couple weeks than ever before. We've been actually really busy in the lobby, and I've been working on some projects back here. So I don't always have time to get to it, and KT's really busy all the time. Okay, so go on the event page, add your events, and then let me know that, hey, I put up this event, can you talk about it on the show? And that way me and KT, we can do that. Because that way Wednesday is kind of our pull away from work and come sit down and talk kind of stuff. So we actually find out a lot of information. We also
it's tough to actually walk away from my desk and do the show.
Exactly. So today's topic, I wanted to talk about this because I was talking to KT about it too today. This is a question that I had to answer today and then several times over the past couple weeks. So a lot of you guys have asked, since we've released these, what is the benefit to the one-piece upper and then also the Gen 2 Javelin? So one of the things that we talked about, and we've already made this disclaimer, but the multi-piece upper with the Delrin bolt, or the plastic bolt for most of you that know, was problematic with shape projectiles. Now, want to give you all the information based off of what I was taught, also what KT has told me, and what led to his design changes and improvements in this product. So first off, I have a First Strike round here. This is a newer one. This is their
latest.
latest smoke and yellow. And this was a big topic, the force multiplier topic on MacFed paintball. I said that on accident earlier. I didn't even say First Strike. I said this is a force multiplier. It was subconsciously. I have no idea.
That would have been a good name too, right?
Yeah, it would have.
Yeah.
But you have a flashing or a basically a side effect of the mold on the nipple of a First Strike. Okay, some of them are more what do you call that? Definitive than others, meaning that the flashing is a little exaggerated, which means there could even be a part that flips up. There was also flashing on the fins, and you can't see it here. I'm too far away from the camera, but I can do a close-up video of this too. So I only pulled three rounds out of a 250 round box, and looking at this, you can see that there's flashing on some of the fins that actually are longer than the fin itself or the skirt itself. These types of things contributed to the issues that led to the 468 upper and new Javelin. Okay, and this is the reason why KT these things all brought to our attention, because of the differences with shape projectiles. Right now, First Strike is the only company that's making these until we release ours.
Yes.
So we have to. We don't communicate with First Strike in that manner because one, that we don't do that, and two, it just wouldn't happen. But we're not, when we designed the 468, we weren't anticipating, well, let's call First Strike and see if we can delegate this more to their round. That's not how it goes. We made a product, we designed it for paintballs, and that's how the 468 originally started. Now that with the introduction of the shape projectile, now you and I and KT here have to all adhere to the different quality expectations that First Strike rounds put out. So we have no control over that. So with this flashing on the nipple and the skirt, that is something that was contributed to a poor experience with to the unsuccessful performance of the 468 2016 and earlier. So I'm going to have KT explain to you what we did on the one-piece upper and how we basically delegated and got rid of those issues so you guys can be more successful with all quality types from First Strike. All right?
All right. So we did the 468 kind of at the same time the First Strike kind of started to come out. We made a dedicated system. I wouldn't say for paintball, but for projectile. But we didn't tune it properly to make it First Strike specific. That's why the 468 that has a multi-piece upper, and we didn't really spec that utmost perfect to the First Strike. So that's what we did on the changes that we did on the one-piece upper. If you have a one-piece upper and you take a First Strike round and you drop it in, it will never flip. See, I dropped it in, it's stuck right there. I don't know if you can see that. It will never flip because we're tuned the feeding port exactly to the First Strike. So it doesn't matter what projectile you have. I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what kind of bolt you have, the Javelin bolt or the polymer bolt, it will shoot First Strike just fine. Alright, because the way that we did is we're able to fit the rounds perfectly into the chamber, and to a point where little nudge is necessary to push into the chamber. That's why you want to use a stronger spring to keep that stack together and to be able to push the round to overcome any of I would say jam or any friction that caused by either the nipple of the First Strike or the skirt of the First Strike, because they're not always perfect. Once in a while you get a round kind of iffy, so that's why it caused that flip issue you have. It's always happened to the round that the next firing round. So like I said, if you have a one-piece upper, definitely give it a try. Just take a round, drop it in to the chamber, and it will stay right there. If you have the older version, you drop it in, it's already flipped. As soon as you drop to the chamber, it's already flipped. then you get the chance to get to
The breech.
the breech. But now, as you can see that I drop it in, and you can see the round still there. You have to push it in a little bit, and it'll go in.
That's why the shape projectile, like he said, the shape projectile magazine with the shape projectile springs are so important, because what happened as well with the old breech and the 2016 version is the springs, if you weren't using the strong springs, it would cause the projectiles to kind of, it would basically, there was no force below them that would increase to put the round precisely into the breech, which, along with that flashing on either end, if there was any, if it wasn't precise enough and didn't have enough force to go into that breech, boom, it would get caught, causing the flip. So what he did, and a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of you know this, but the feed collar on your upper receiver, this actually comes out. It's held on by 2 set screws, and then it slides out of the groove. So what KT did is he put a taper on the feed collar to open up the chamber and then basically close up as it entered the breech. So even if it did enter it a little cockeyed, the next round below it, as it was pushed into that taper or through the taper, it got precise. So even if I came in through this, came in this way, this next round would push it, and now it would straighten it out as it enters the breech.
So I was saying earlier, you can use the Palmer bolt, it will be fine, but definitely you want to shoot first strike better, you need the one-piece upper. I'll show you one more time. See the round, you drop into the upper. See how it doesn't go in. See how it does that? That because it's caused by the front nipple and the skirt. It is actually longer than a chamber. So if you have the old version, of course it's going to cause some issue, but the newer versions have perfectly fit in there, and it requires just a slight force, then it goes in, boing, just like that. And once it's in, it stays in there, and the stack of the spring will keep the stack straight and doesn't cause a flip.
So you can see too, one thing to notice is, let me see if I can get this out. I have to push this through.
Yeah.
I want to show you this too, what KT's talking about with the, so when he puts it in there, you can actually see, the space around it. See, I can actually put stuff around except on the skirt, but around this area, because it's actually catching the taper. But you can see how open it is for the round to actually enter that feed collar. So like he was saying, when the next round comes up, it straightens out the round no matter how cockeyed it is, or
right.
if it entered it and had a little bit of wobble in the stack as it entered through. That next round below it is what solidifies it into the breech and engages it into the lock bolt.
I'm going to show another one here. This is the feed adapter itself. See, the rounds really it can't be dropped down. That's how tight fit that we made it, just to make sure that, see how that is? It wouldn't even fall down. That's how precise that we're able to correct the chamber, the feeding neck on that, so that way the round doesn't have this, it cannot turn its own axis. So on the previous one we did, it's able to turn its own axis and actually rotate, but on this one, it can't even turn its own axis.
So the flipping issue that we've experienced or that some of you experienced in the past, that was brought up to our attention, that is the reason why that was happening, because like I said, we can't make a product, we can't change up the 468 every single time First Strike changes their quality. That's, unfortunately, this is how it is. So what we did to combat that was that feed collar. Now, the flashing and the issues of the inconsistency with First Strikes in general, that's a different story. That even with exaggerated flashing on the nipple would still fit perfectly fine in there. The one thing that I've heard recently, and I haven't had any proof yet, but I have spoken from a couple people now, at least 5, that have said that these newer First Strikes are actually longer than the older ones. So I don't know. So. I don't know so, yeah. If that is just a quality thing, or I mean, First Strike hasn't made an announcement that they're making longer First Strikes, so that is one thing that contributes there too. I think it's lengthened by the nipple or by the skirt. I think it's just off just a little bit, and it feels that way.
But I think generally they still try and keep the same size as possible. Just when they're doing production, there's a slight
variation.
Exactly. So this variation. I mean, this is ejection mold anyway, and I don't think it's possible to keep it the same every single time. They can get close to it, but not exactly the same.
So one thing that
Especially,
contributed,
especially when you have the flash. This is where the injection port, right? If you look at like a toy, any type of toy, you see a little dot. So this is where they inject the material into the mold. So they have
Tupperware.
Yeah.
Tupperware, anything like that, you have that. It has the same injection mold, little flashing there.
Right.
So one thing that was brought to my attention that I've told KT over the past couple of days is we've had some people having issues with First Strikes and other models. And what I found, because now that was brought to my attention, is with the Helix mags or the D mags, that inserting those rounds is actually a little bit stiffer. And what was happening was if you don't insert these shaped projectiles in the magazines correctly, which is fin down first, you push, and then you pop the flashing or the nipple part into the magazine, what happens is these fins get damaged, and they were actually cracking because I mean, it's just it's too long. Yeah. So this breach here is actually very precise, and that's what was causing the issue. So unfortunately, we don't have all the remedies for that, and we can't keep up with inconsistency. So you have to try different batches of First Strikes. You have to kind of experiment.
Well, do what some people does. I mean, some people actually do is they sand the head off and get the flash off, and you get a better smoother surface on the head, and so you can get your rounds consistent.
So I mean, a lot of people may have problems with that and saying you have to do that with your rounds, but unfortunately, the round is not perfect every time. It's just like a paintball. You're not going to get a perfectly filled paintball every single time. It doesn't matter what brand or how much money you spend on it. The manufacturing process of First Strikes and paintballs are not foolproof. Unfortunately, that is not the case. So, but as far as feeding in the markers, the breach on the vortex, the bolt, all those are perfectly fine. The problem is not with the breach. Now the problem that we find is with the magazines. And like I said, someone was supposed to measure them for me and show me the comparison and give me a photo so that way I can see exactly. But we'll see if that happens because I haven't seen it circulating on the web yet. That'll be a funny conversation for a lot of diehard First Strike guys out there. But I mean that's what KT did. That's what we did to combat it. Every single person I've spoken to that has the one-piece upper with the Gen 2 Javelin has had no problems.
We don't necessarily need the Javelin bolt for shooting First Strike. Okay, the full one-piece upper, but the combination of those two give you best possible results. Performance. Javelin bolt is mainly for consistency in the shot because the way that the air travels. I'll show you this one here. So on a current bolt, air goes up in the single port right here, and then it goes forward. There's some turbulence in there, and the air does not go up consistent. But on the Javelin bolt, is the air actually go all the way around the bolt, and it comes out more consistent. So that's why the Javelin bolt gives you a more consistent shot, and also increase your velocity per shot. So check it out. If you are getting Javelin bolt, you automatically get at least 30 feet more per second on your velocity. So you have to kind of tune it up. That's why you get the latest version of 2017 468. We give you 6 different springs, 3 on the low end and 3 on the mid end. And then on the law enforcement series, we have another set that goes on the high end. So between those velocity springs, you can range from 200 to about 350 feet per second. It depends which one you use and how you adjust it. The adjustment you can still use adjustment to fine-tune velocity, but what we recommend is to get use the spring that closest to velocity you need, and then adjust it up a little bit. Let the spring be as natural in its form as possible, and try not to compress it or cut it. If you have to, get into the game, but tune it where you get a spring. Let's say you want to shoot 280, get a spring that shoots like 270, and then turn it up on a tiny bit, quarter turn or even 1/8 of a turn, whatever amount of turn that you have to do, just bring up to that velocity you want. and that's the best consistency shot you can get for tuning wise.
In my experience, like today, I had a customer that came in who you spoke with at D-Day.
Yes.
Dusty, you worked on his gun too as a young guy. He had a lot of issues, like I was talking about at the beginning of the show.
Right.
It turned out that the javelin that he has was I don't know how he got it in his gun, honestly. It was really mangled up.
Right.
I don't think he got that from you at D-Day like that. So
I think he has the Gen 1 Gen
did.
2.
No, Gen 1.
Gen 1.
He had a Gen 1, but it was
Gen 1 still, okay.
So, put in the Gen 2, he's hitting ±5 with the blue spring. So, like he was talking about, I've used the blue spring in more Gen 2 468 one-piece uppers than any of the other ones. I know some of you guys use the silver ones, some of you are using the gold ones, but he was at 286 with first strikes and a little bit less with the paintball or AG1 paint, but he didn't have a performance barrel on it. He's using a recon rifled, so he didn't have that really good compression there. So a little bit of air was escaping. But the blue spring, in my experience, is to the one that I've found the most success with shape projectiles.
It also depends on the air system you use, remote line, CO2, compressed air, your tank regulators. See, it's all different factor added to it. So you can't assume that you have a gun using the same spring. You don't know the condition of your tank. Some tanks, your regular kind of wear off a little bit. You're getting low pressure on it. Brand new tank get a little bit high pressure. So that variation will also change on your velocity. And also remote line, some remote line are a little bit, the air hose itself, smaller gauge. So that also changes a little bit. CO2 tend to shoot velocity a little bit higher than compressed air. So there's a little variation that will change based on your system. So that's why we give you more of a spring gear option to give you the best adjustment possible and get the gun to shoot closest to the velocity that you want without having to cut the spring or adjust the spring. That's an attempt to give you the most consistency shots, shot after shot, so that to keep the velocity as consistent as possible. That's our goal.
Exactly. So one thing before I want to reintroduce the auction gun again, Al Doble and Justin Paris and all you guys, we're not telling anyone to sand off their first strike tips. That is an option. Okay, we are telling you what we've done to combat the issues that we've seen with the 468. Now, First Strike is going to make their rounds however they want to. We don't care about that. But I don't want anyone to misconstrue what we're saying, and then someone says, "Well, MCS says you have to sand every round of your First Strike." That is not what we're saying. That is just an option if you are damaging these rounds when you're inserting them into the magazines. Okay?
Also, performance too. You're talking about if you want to overall performance. I would say that get the tip off will actually improve feeding for sure, bar none. Right. So the more, I mean, you're talking about if you put your finger over the tip of the rounds, you can feel that there's an edge, this rough edge on it. Of course, if you have this area go over geometry of your magazine, of course, there might be some friction that could cause a jam or snag or something. But if you take that off, obviously, a smoother surface will always feed better. That's no-brainer there. So, of course, you can use it, but if you want to improve overall performance, yes, you can absolutely do that. You don't have to, but if you want to, you can. And Jeff, you want to know the size of this? I might get a gauge. Find out for you.
Okay. My experience with the shape projectiles at 686 is the best bore size as far as I go by them. Mark Spires, exactly. I know a lot of guys that do that and they don't even have one of our guns. They actually have Milsig and TGRs, and they actually sand them just for the performance because they want the best consistency, plus or minus. So
this is a trusty hammerhead gauge. All right. So we are up for sure. We're gonna try 688 first. It falls right out. Whoops. Did I catch it? Okay. So 6.688, it comes right out. So we're gonna go next low 1.686. It's right about there. So I would say right now the round is 0.687. That's in line with hammerhead barrel 0.687 bore. So right now it's gonna push through a little bit. It's kind of tight, falls right out. So right between 686 and 687, 88 is too big. Obviously, you can see that earlier. But hamhead barrel is still the best for it. That's what we discover.
For those of you that said first, I don't think any. You know why? It's because I think you're downloading a product or something over there. Oh, okay. Sorry about that if there was any connection issues. But I've seen some people say that first strikes are 683. Can you put it in the 68?
This is 686 right now, and it's not going anywhere. I mean, literally. You have to really push it out. That's what I'm saying. Between 686 and 687. 687 probably be the ideal size for it. If you put into a barrel right here, this is our barrel is 687, right? And look at here, right? So this is not. It's a hammerhead. No, I'm sorry, it's not.
That's a regular barrel.
That's a regular barrel. So
that's your 68.
Yeah. So see, I have 687 right here. So it's kind of barely fit there. Right there. So 687 is perfect for it.
If any of you ever do that, where you shoot your barrel with a blow dart gun, make sure you put your hand on the other side, because I shot that at my computer desk on accident because I thought it was stuck.
Yeah.
And it broke a first strike round on my computer monitor. It was pretty awesome. Yeah. But anyway, a lot of people are saying, oh, my Lapco barrel 683 works for it. I do not see how that's possible.
Right.
I don't understand how we just showed you that 686, and I mean, if we do, let's do all three. Is that what you can see?
After you go through a couple of times, the size I can reduce.
It's the same.
Yeah.
I mean, it's for this round to go in a 683 barrel. Wow. Oh. I don't think it would go anywhere. I think you would maybe one would get through, another one would jam, that other one would shoot it out. I don't see how you could have really that good. That's extreme compression, honestly, on that.
I was at the Oklahoma D-Day, and a guy came in with a 468 and was using .683 barrel, and he got a stack of first strike in the barrel. He couldn't shoot it. I told him, hey, the barrel was too small and have to get a rod and kind of push it up.
He was using the one-shot barrels as a loader. Right. It's a 10-round tube. He just puts a squeegee
literally, he got a stack of barrel. I mean, because he shot the first one, it didn't come out, so he kept on shooting until the whole thing got stuck. And then he shot the last one to kind of blow in the chamber because it had a whole stack of rounds in the barrel. It's kind of crazy.
John Miles, yeah, I know that they used to be 683, but even on the old mold, they were not consistent 683. They were actually larger, and some of them were actually smaller on the original mold. And sometimes this seems to be the case, because I've seen first strike rounds that are actually bigger that were actually getting stuck in the 687 or R687 one-shot barrel. I mean, stuck, not going anywhere, stuck. So the question I saw earlier, will our round have flashing? No. The way that we've designed our round is you don't have a skirt and you don't have a nipple. You have it's a 4-piece design that basically the round is flawless on its shape on the outside, so you don't worry about any imperfections like that to catch on anything. And that's the reason why Omar and KT designed it that way, is so we kind of learn from first strike's mistakes. And it's not injection mold, which is another benefit. So as far as biodegradable, in all honesty, Brandon, I've heard this on Airsoft too. I mean, the word biodegradable, I mean, because if you use something and it biodegrades it within 30 years, is that really biodegradable? I mean, I don't. That's the shelf life of an Airsoft BB. Is no one the biodegradable BBs haven't been long enough for it to biodegrade for them to give them a number. You know what I'm saying? That's how biodegradable works in our industry. I think as far as like over time, with being weathered and things like that, I think it'll break down. But as far as biodegradable, I don't really believe in that term personally. Like
these right here, these are polystyrene, and they promoted this as biodegradable. I would say yes, after a certain number of years, sure, but not
a certain. But
yeah.
say that in quotations. A certain number of years.
Right.
No one is able to put a year on that, a number, an actual numeric value that says, okay, 15 years they'll
Right.
they will biodegrade completely and they'll be gone.
Even 500 years or 1,000 years is still biodegradable, right? Right.
Yeah,
technically, right?
It's still biodegrading.
Yeah, right. Technically, so.
So I mean, honestly, yes. The bore size of our projectile.
It is 0.686 and 0.687, so we're stay
Consistent
right.
at those two projectiles, which is why you see the one-shot barrels and things
right.
like that. Now, not to say that there's other barrels in the market that, like bore sizing kits. I saw that Lapco did release one with sleeves similar to the Freak kit that came out a long time ago. You know, that type of those types of barrels will work with that. And the way that we designed our round, instead of having fins that attach to the rifling, we have a drive band system. So you guys will see that when we get more into it. But you will see the quality improvement as well as the consistency in a bullet. I mean, a real steel firearm. Talking about that, there are differences between, you know, cheap range ammunition and then high-end ammunition, and the reason for that is the way that they're made. The most consistency with each individual round as it enters your specific, you know, grain type and all that type of stuff with your real steel firearm. That's what we wanted to do with the shape projectile. So we'll go ahead and talk about the auction real quick. So we do have a Vortex MP5 with a UMP trigger frame, rear air with a drop-down ASA. We have this SOCOM. It's basically a special edition stock here with the open area. The SD5K shroud kit on the Vortex, and a 2017 magazine, of course. I love this. Like I said, I love this gun. I think this is long overdue system. It's a CQB, part of the Bulldog series.
One of the things we did almost intentionally is we made the body heavier than the other series body. That because we knew that we're gonna have MP5 series and the front gonna be plastic and light, the back gonna be pretty light. So we made the center pretty heavy, so that way when you pick up the rifle, it has certain weight to balance. Yeah. If we don't do that, then it become it's not really that balanced. So now you have real well balanced system here. You would love this.
This thing fully automatic. Oh man, you guys watch my video. I've shot it on and off camera quite a bit. Probably well over 300 rounds, all with paintball. Some with our shaped rounds, but mostly with paintball. Not one break, and I didn't even put the new Vortex lock bolt in it, which you guys do know is available now. The version that is available is the one without the notch, so make sure you watch the video that I did.
With the notch.
Oh, with the notch. I'm sorry. The pin, without the pin. I'm sorry.
With the notch.
Yeah, with the notch, without the pin.
Right.
And that was without that. I know Al Doble is in here. He runs a fully automatic AK-47 version Vortex, posts a bunch of videos about it, and he straight up tears up the field with it. I like watching his videos. I like hearing that performance of that. So you guys can definitely pick that up on the Bulldog series, and or the full auto option is still available. So we're at 250 right now. Timothy Brooks.
Nice.
We'll keep it going here for the next couple of minutes.
I love the magazine. I mean, gotta say that ever since we did the 2017 magazine, and mag insertion is just incredible. It's not like before where you gotta go in pretty tight, but now it's a little light. The more you actually insert the magazine, the easier, the better it gets.
Preston Taylor, Al is super lame. Brett Miller, we won't do a shooting demo today for it, but there are a shooting demo of the fully auto same version available on our Facebook page and on YouTube. So we do have a new product for you regarding the TMC. For some of you guys that have the TMC that always ask us what accessories will work for it, we are still getting questions regarding the TMC.
Actually, I was at the Ion game and almost a lot of people running TMCs, and they will look for accessories. I don't have anything for them there, but I came back and I kind of put some together for you guys. So this is an 8-inch barrel with the Noveski sound amplifier.
So we are going to release some barrel kits, some barrel upgrade kits with for the TMC. So what we talked about, and for those of you that didn't watch our video last time, the TMC is limited as far as upgrades outside of what MFW Maker is making, which are 3D printed, type of accessories. We're talking about like, accessories that metal and all that stuff, mil spec, all that stuff that you guys, that people ask us about that. I'm not talking about those aftermarket 3D print stuff. But if you look at the TMC barrel, and we talked about this before, nice. Yeah, the TMC barrel, you can tell that they've actually increased the size towards the end here. And the reason why they did that is because it stabilizes their shroud.
So it doesn't wiggle.
So it doesn't wiggle. If you take this barrel out right now, that thing will wiggle a crap load. And that's actually one of the issues that a couple customers I've brought in here. They're like, hey, how do I stop this from wobbling? And honestly, you can't.
It's kind of need a dedicated barrel just to overcome that.
And that's the reason why TMC made that barrel, and that's why a lot of other people that buy 7/8 inch barrels are using the Hammerhead one-shots with an adapter. They have so much wobble is because it doesn't work. So what we've done is we created a barrel kit for you guys that have the TMC that allow for no wobble and a performance in upgrade as far as cosmetic look and performance in your projectiles. So you have an 8-inch straight rifled recon barrel with our Reaper suppressor, and then the other option will be with the Noveski sound amplifier. And both of these stabilize inside of your TMC.
That's almost, zero wobble.
Zero wobble. Yeah. And it looks good. It adds an aesthetic, a different look to the TMC, along with whatever accessories you're putting on there. Price point. What are we looking at here, you think?
Ooh, the expensive part is this sounds. They retail for like $65. Hopefully, can keep it like $70 or something close to that, so that way they can get a pretty decent barrel kit for that price. Maybe $70.
Around $70. Okay. Yeah. So that's not bad. $70, you get the new or the upgraded performance rifle barrel and your accessories, either the sound amplifier or
it could be a little bit less with the sound amplifier, though.
A little less for the sound amplifier. So you're probably looking around $62 to $65,
right,
for that price point, which is not bad. You guys are spending $180, or a lot of people are spending $180 on 3D printed shrouds and stuff from MFW Maker, which, don't get me wrong, those are quality products. I love all the things that he's doing, but you still have that risk of breaking. I will, and me and KT will have some shrouds, metal shrouds, and different accessories available that will also be a kit for the TMC to offer different looks. All I need to do is test some accessories and kind of think about what we're going to do, but we will have those available. So you will have an option for those of you who have the TMC or are thinking about it and worried about the upgradability. You will have some options that we will offer for you that will work well with the TMC.
Okay, I think I can make the key mods handguard. Which one is it? The
Noveski?
No, the Thunderbolt handguard.
Oh, the Thunderbolt?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I just thought about it. I think we can do it.
Does it have an opening here? Oh, no, it doesn't.
No, it can do the slide over, and then I can do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you heard it. See, we're innovating right here on the show.
Yeah, because I didn't think about it until we're looking at this right now. We can actually do that.
So some of the best ideas come when you're not thinking about it. Steve Jones just joined us. Steve, how are you doing, my friend? He is the proud new owner of the Unicus or HS Elite 468.
Wow.
He contacted us this morning. I reached out to him this afternoon. He wanted the marker. He paid for the marker. He got it. So he will be receiving the Unicus gun. It's definitely the most expensive Unicus gun to the date, and it's also probably the most elaborate. It was Steve Jones. I think wherever paintball field you go in, wherever you play, people will be running from you.
Man, head turners for sure.
Yeah, head turners. You're gonna get a lot of questions. I know a lot of people's hearts were broken today when I said that the Unicus gun was sold. We did have I had quite a few people that reached out to me wanting to do payment plans and things like that, and unfortunately we couldn't do that. So I do apologize, but I want to say congratulations, Steve Jones. I think it's the first time you watched the show. I haven't seen you on here before, but welcome to the MFW show. Welcome to the MagFed world. If you don't already have a MagFed marker, I think you're going to be a top of the class now with the with that Unicus gun. So congratulations again. For those of you guys, welcome Steve Jones to the show and to the MagFed world. Yeah, holy crap, is right, Chris Kelly. I think other than that, we got the auction gun here. We'll put it on. Let's see, it's 5:33. We'll do it to what, 5:40?
5:40.
Give them 7 minutes.
7 minutes to decide.
7 minutes to decide what's going on here. We got 250 Timothy Brooks. What else do we have going on? There was some stuff I want to talk about today. I can't remember. CPW series. CPW and the Bulldog series are still available. We've actually sold over the past week it's been on. We sold a couple units already. The AK-47 Hurricane is a seller, and then what do you call it? The 468 CPW. I sold 2 of those already. So that is definitely appreciate the support on all of those markers. Those are still available, and we'll be taking some off that don't do well, and then we'll put some different looks on there to increase the series and change it up a little bit.
PTR, Corey, definitely.
I told him about we're waiting on the screw.
So PTR, pretty much, I think we've solved the final piece of the puzzle to make it stable. I think we're about to launch it. We're gonna get the screws in and then do a production on that, and you can start. We're gonna start cranking it out.
What I told him, because we were still talking about whether or not we were gonna offer an upgrade or just complete markers.
We probably do both. You can guys do both. You can do upgrade. You can just get the lower, because you don't need new upper. You don't need magwell. You just need lower, and all your other parts we just plug and play. Some I know you guys gonna have kind of a question. Some gonna be fitting issues because the P-chart was built a little bit different, but we're gonna address that on the menu view when you purchase it, so that way you know how to put it together. But beside that, it's rock and roll.
It's awesome. I love the PTR. Callista loves the PTR. Valentine, shaped round. We talked about the shaped round, the pistol. If you ever come into the store or you see KT at an event, he'll show you the video of the pistol and in action. So other than that, I'm not going to disclose anything yet. Right now, like I said, we are finalizing the shaped round. We're still kind of negotiating what we're going to do with that, but those projects are coming to an end here. He's working on the Tornado. That's probably the one that's taken up a lot of time.
Right.
So.
I spent half of my day today just on the Tornado. Literally half of the day. Just came in and just sat down and knocked out a couple of technical problems that we ran into. But off to the next thing.
Yeah, KT was borderline hibernation the past day.
Oh,
shit. He had to catch up on some sleep. This man does not sleep, and he has 2 young kids at home. I don't know how he does it. I search for an hour of sleep with my son at home,
right.
And I don't know how he does it, but you know, that's a gift. I applaud him for that gift. But Valentine, you know, we will have some teasers and things like that coming soon, especially with some of the products. We've been doing a R&D series for the Tornado to show you guys really what it takes for each.
We need to do. We need to film the next stage of that.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. Justin Paris, is there a huge demand for the Tornado? In all honesty, there are a lot of people. How many X7 do you think are in circulation right
There are
now?
more than 1 million of those X7 classics floating around in the world. You don't see any of them. Kind of hard to find now. People kind of hoard it because they know the kit is coming, and if you find one, keep it,
Yeah.
because you have to upgrade into the Tornado.
For us, Justin, because we're obviously the company that does the kits, we do get a lot of a lot of inquiries
Daily.
about.
Daily.
Do you have you have a conversion kit for the
Right.
X7? I got a couple questions when you were gone for a brass eagle conversion kit, but I don't think necessarily the conversion kit obviously is going to be a niche because it's only going to be for people who obviously have that. It's a discontinued gun, but we will be selling them as a complete marker. So the demand for the complete marker and the AK series.
That's
yes,
why that's why we built on a platform that you can buy as a whole gun. It's gonna be AK-12. You search AK-12 and see how it's pretty cool, and so you can get the whole gun as a marker. I mean the whole assembly, or you can get the kit.
So I think honestly if people don't have an X7, they're going to buy it because of the difference.
Correct.
It's the only of its kind dedicated AK platform. So no more accessories, nothing. It is its own look. It's its own beast in itself. So I definitely think it's going to do very well. I think a lot of people have asked us about it. When we first started, years back, the AK-47 A5 AK-47 kit was a top seller.
We sold out.
We still sell out over time. We don't
Right.
order as much anymore, but people still come in here and want the real wood accessories, the real wood stock for their A5s, or even the Vortex now.
Right.
So the AK demand is there, but we didn't want to just do the traditional standard wooden, kind of Kalashnikov type. We wanted to go in the future, and that's where KT has been working to get that AK-12 model. So like I said, if you guys don't know what it looks like, search it right now on Google, AK-12. You'll see that there. So I got 1 minute left on the auction before we continue this here.
So
Timothy
auction
Brooks.
you get right now. So you have about a minute to make a decision. Otherwise, I'm gonna call that out as soon as our clock shows 5:40. So this is the auction gun. On a side note, on the AK-12, the thing about it is that if you get any of our AK system right now, it's gonna cost you at least $300-400. First, you have to buy the gun, and the barrel kit alone costs you, $120 for the kit, and another $50, something like that, for the buttstock. But imagine you can get. Our goal is to get you the whole AK 12 round between 300 and 400 for the whole marker.
All right, so 540 just happened right now. The last thing that came in was Timothy Brooks for 270. So congratulations, Timothy Brooks. Contact me, man. I'll get that out to you. So go ahead and continue what you were saying. I'm sorry. What was the price we were talking about?
We're looking about right now. I'm targeting between 300 and 400 for AK-12 for its whole gun. So hopefully we can do on a lower end, like $300. But that's the goal.
So that'll definitely, like I said, that's in the market for those who want that dedicated platform. Callista, show me proof. Send me proof of life. Are you talking about your PTR? It's right by my desk. Relax.
And we have new magazine for you.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Yeah.
So next event, Cal, we'll get you new magazines, new color magazine.
So other than that, that's all I have for today. Like I said, next week we're gonna be doing that SAR 12 video. Jin, you just joined. We need that barrel back for that video. He's gonna come and help do the test. He knows a little bit more about the SAR 12. He's a DMR wizard, in my opinion. He knows a lot about it, and he can kind of give us a little insight here. So we will be doing that. It'll be a full comparison kit between each system to kind of shush the naysayers on the DMR, because we've been selling quite a bit of those. A couple of customers we've had probably 2 or 3 a month now with the DMR. So no box mag requests yet.
Box mag is it's always going to be one of the top projects that we're gonna chop off there, but it takes a lot of work, takes time.
KT, can you make a Zeta magwell for the Vortex?
Zeta magwell, somebody already made that, didn't you? Right?
I think it was a 3D printed magwell. It's like what they did for the Milsig.
I gotcha.
I'm not sure though. It could be.
I'll probably not yet. I'm gonna kill all this other side project first before I get into those ones. And besides, gotta be. I mean, to make a mold, like I said, the problem had always been making a mold like this. Making a mold, it costs around about $5,000 to make a mold. So, how many magwell am I gonna sell to able to cover for that mold cost? That's the big question. If we're gonna do it, I think we're gonna have to make like a whole receiver that able to kind of change the entire look of the gun into another platform. That'd be worth it to do, but not just a magwell.
I think a question came up the other day on I think it was another podcast or something, but people were asking why none of us, and by none of us I mean manufacturers. I believe that the question was aimed at us, First Strike and Milsig. Why we don't make a magwell that allows for universal magazines. So you guys only have to buy one magazine. You can use it on all guns. And in all honesty, for the sake of business, let's just talk business. Toyota doesn't make cars for Nissan and vice versa. They don't make accessories and things like that for each other's cars, so that way when someone has, they can put the same auxiliary seats or whatever, those types of things into their vehicles for a reason. Because one, from a business standpoint, that's not very smart, and two, we already make a lot of accessories for a lot of different guns that we don't make. So that's
one of our my theory on that is that a standard was never set, so everybody go out there and set their own standard for the magwell and the magazine itself. Once a company have set their own magazine and magwell, that's not going to change. That will never going to change, because that would change the whole fundamental of how the system will work. And they have so much incentive to produce their own magazine because they have to sell those magazines. Some of newer markers that are coming out later on they're going to choose of all the manufacturers out there, choose a magazine that best fitted for them, and they might take that one and continue to produce a body and a magwell, and then just take an existing magazine and sell from there. But a lot of companies reluctant to do that, us included. We're not really excluded from that equation. But I would say that that's definitely a great question, because if you're looking at the AR firearms world, AR magazines, 223 use the same one, 308 use the same magazine. You're talking about 9mm use the same magazine, and so on, right? And also AK use the same one. Not unlike our industry, where every company has their own magazine, their own magwell. Everything's just different, so it's kind of tough. I don't think that's gonna change at all. And plus, additional, the one factor I noticed is that every player support certain brand, and they kind of stay loyal to that brand. They don't want to change it. I go to an event, I see all the time people who shoot certain type of gun will never touch another brand gun. I just don't know why there's such a barrier. To us, doesn't matter what you shoot.
I'll tell you why.
What?
Egos. Everyone's got an ego. That's what kind of drives and angers me personally with some of the people in this industry, is they always so quick to put somebody else's product down with zero experience, zero knowledge, and zero understanding, just because they're loyal to something that they have or they use. So I don't think.
I think I would say a very small number of people, but majority of them are fine. I help all kind of people with their markers problem. It doesn't matter what brand it is. When I go to an event, it doesn't matter what brand you have. If I can help you fix your problem, I'll help you fix your problem right there. And if I can't, I'm sorry, I can't. And I'm not going to turn you away just because you're having another brand product. It's
no, not to say I help people with all different types of guns. I have nothing against that. To each their own. We're not telling anyone that our product is better than anyone else's. We make a product, but there's options out there. But there are players and manufacturers that refuse, especially to play with us. So that's kind of that's just kind of what I've learned. You know, we've had to deal with it. We've talked about it multiple times on this show, where we have to kind of overcome a lot of these people's issues with stuff that relatively is kind of ridiculous, in my opinion.
Scott,
So,
I ask Eagle players or manufacturer.
it's both,
I
Scott.
think it's both, Scott.
Honestly.
Yeah. I guess some players just kind of they love what they have, and they will not, nothing would change them. Not to say that we're trying to change them to buy another product, but they speak so highly of a product that they would not even consider anything else. It would be a barrier. I mean, it's so like a horse, just that one system or none at all.
Right.
But my point is that it should be that way. You can be open-minded. It's fine to use that system and you love and you care for and you support and you cherish. It's okay, but don't make it where it's hostile.
Yeah.
That's why I feel hostile.
Exactly.
This is what I want. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, that's a perfect word, Al. Tunnel vision. I mean, that's. I mean, we get customers very often where we have somebody that's a dedicated T15 user for the past 4 years, never used a 468, used a 468 at an event. They sold their T15 and now use a 468. There's people who've used a 468 for years since it came out, swore by it, and then found that they love the Milsig SMG, and now they use that or the M5. I mean, it happens. It's a completely it's a normal way of life. But to say that nothing is better than a T15, have you used it? And ask that person, have you used any other markers? And they say no. Then how do you know? How can you make that assumption? You know what I'm saying? And then by that, and even go farther than that, and be angry when somebody else is using a 468 on your team, or or some other marker that's not a T15 and is telling you how great it is, and you're going to shun them because of their experience. I don't understand that. That's what I don't get. That's what I think plagues a lot of.
That's a little nuance that we notice, but generally people are good. When I'm at an event, I'd always ask people what they're using. They say, okay, I'm using this. All right, let me show you what system that's out there that's available, so you know more about other systems. I'm not trying to sell anything, but here, you understand more what's out there so you can be aware of the type of system that existed rather than, okay, this is all I'm using and I don't care. But most people receptive to that, and it's great.
Yeah. Scott Allen, perfect word there. Men and children. I mean, that kind of sums it up. But I mean, other than that, like I said, we don't really see that. I like to hear what's out there. I don't have a lot of experience with other systems outside of what I've shot here with the T15, Milsig, TGR. And I can tell you, just what I like personally, but that's just how it is. And we don't discriminate, nor do we think anyone is any less of a player because they use something not
less
our
of
guns.
a player or less of equipment. We personally believe that every equipment has its own strengths and weaknesses. You need to overcome those weaknesses and embrace those strengths.
Exactly.
And work on it, learn how to use it, be good at it, and you can enjoy it.
Another thing too, if you can't aim for shit, it doesn't matter what damn gun you use. If you can't hit anything or aim right, then it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you use a freaking SAR 12. The gun doesn't shoot for you. You got to be able to freaking fire the gun. So that's just kind of a funny thing that I see quite a bit. I get a lot of people that like to talk about the guns and who's best, and you see it a lot on these groups. It's kind of funny. At least people will argue and talk about what they think they know and all that stuff. So,
all right, Al, let me see if I can get your size and I'll set one aside for you. You want this OD shirt?
Oh, OD shirt. Oh, okay. OD mag Helix. Before we sign off here.
Okay. So we have the pink version Helix coming out, and we have the OD coming out. I'm hoping to have it by before the month end. What is it? It's the 17th, 18th, 19th?
It's the 19th.
19th.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping to have by the end of the month. If not, then early week of August. That's why, Callista, I'm going to send you some of your Helix magazine pink ones.
Callista, nice. I have an upgrade for your PTR, so I'll send you a photo of it later.
So we're going to have to kind of convert that. We have to upgrade your PTR so that way we can send it to you. Be great.
Other than that, guys, that's all I got. Congratulations, Timothy Brooks, 270 for the auction gun. Stay tuned next week. Next week's going to be a big episode. We're definitely going to have a lot of controversial and probably a lot of new viewers.
Are we shooting a 16 barrel? What barrel are we shooting?
I think we'll do both. We'll compete our 16 with the 20 inch, and then we'll see how
later on when we have the 20, then we'll shoot a 20 later on. I'm assuming.
with the test that I've done here with the 16 inch compared to that's a 16 inch direct threaded compared to our 14 inch one shot.
Right.
There is a performance increase.
So we don't have. Yeah, we were pretty much putting all the 16 inches.
This is a 16.
Yeah, 16. That is 16. 16 one shot for the DMR now.
So you guys will have that 16 inch direct threaded A5. So we will see next week. Like I said, that's going to be a very controversial topic. That's going to be bringing a lot of new viewers, and it's going to be a pretty wild-packed show. But we are going to do an in-depth test. We're going to be in the back, so it's probably going to be with a cell phone. Or actually, Jin, bring your Mevo. You got the Mevo back.
I got a Mevo back.
Yeah. So
really?
We'll use the Mevo.
All right.
Yeah, Jin, come over here. We'll have.
You'll be part of the production.
Yeah. We'll have the Mevo, and we'll be doing that test. So we'll definitely hash out all the claims that Karmatech has done, as well as what we have designed the 468 to do, to show you its limits, and then basically just a comparison, an honest and transparent comparison.
Live.
Yeah. With everyone.
So you can ask questions. You can ask us to do the test the way that you would think that give the most result. Then we'll right there, live. If we messed up, and we messed up right there live. You can laugh at us.
Yeah.
Rashid, 4.5 inches to 5 inches. Yes, I am going to make hammerhead barrel at the length that it just from 3 inches up to any length you want. So you can actually purchase them a custom length. So that's the thing I'm working on right now. It's gonna take some time for me to set it up, but we're able to customize the exact length that you want, even odd length like 3.75 inch or whatever any length that you want, we can do it for you. So I'm kind of wrap things up to do that. So once we're able to offer that custom length, you can just go online and specify the exact length from end to end without muzzle brakes, without the fin, and we'll make it for you.
Laser engraved hammerhead barrel. Right now, we're not laser engraving anything until we fix this damn computer.
Yeah, the computer took a poop on it. So
thank you, Master Jedi.
But I owe Doug Gloft his Magwell. I told him that I'm gonna secondary out for him today. I messed up, so I messed up. Tomorrow, then I'll next day out for you. So you're gonna have that Magwell, Doug, for the event this weekend. Even if I have to go to the airport and send it on a flight.
Throw it on the UPS plane. For those of you, before we sign off, just real quick, for those of you who own a one-shot barrel, if you could, either send an email to info@mcsus or contact me directly. I really want to get some feedback on what you guys in the field are experiencing with the one-shot barrels, because for me, I love these barrels. I think if I ever got into this sport 100%, I would shoot nothing but one-shot barrels. I think they're the best on the market. Shot a Lapco, I've shot some other ones. But if you guys have a one-shot barrel, reach out to me. Let me know what you experience, both with paintball and the type of projectiles you're using, even what guns you're using it on. I would definitely like to hear your guys' feedback. It really helps us, and with future designs and future builds and things like that, it really helps. So if you could, reach out to me. Other than that, I thank you guys very much for joining us today. Also, for all the support that you guys give us on the MFW show. Honestly, if you guys didn't watch, we would not be doing this. So we're going to continue to try to give you material that we know you're going to enjoy. I think next week's episode is going to be the first of many cool comparative stuff.
We're trying to come up with different topics to cover, and able to do it live. That's the tricky thing about it. Certain thing we can't do it live.
We have some new products that are coming in. The shotgun we talked about, and then I just got the dealer account for the tagging rounds.
Right.
So I'm going to talk with KT.
Alvin and Ed, I need to get your guns out. You guys need to send me your information so I can get out for you. It's built on. It's your guns are built, Alvin, Doc, and it's ready to ship out. Just shoot out to me. I've been traveling for the last 2 weeks. So I'm sorry to get it out and touch base with you guys, but I am. It's ready. It's built. It's just sitting on the table next to me, right there, and that's. I want to get out for you. So give me a shout. We'll make it happen.
All right, guys. We will catch you guys all next week. I'll see you guys out on the field.
Thank you, guys. Enjoy.